Well, let's kick off another episode of Tech on Ice. I wanted to take kind of a step away from like proper tech and talk a little bit about overcoming adversity. Um, I've told the story probably a few times, but I'll just do it again here. Talk about the time that I deleted production because I think that there's some valuable lessons to learn from it. So I worked at a very small company where I was kind of a developer. I did some DBA stuff. I wrote SQL queries and managed databases and built web apps and all sorts of things. A small company, and if you work, back end IT for a small company, you kind of end up doing everything. So I was tasked with. So there was some software. It was vendor software, but we had access to the database, and um, basically the vendor software was basically assigning like seats, like users for like these temp users that would have to use a website to log into. Think like staffing at like events and things like that. Um, so periodically somebody had to go in there and like delete like users because a user would sign up and then their job would be done and then whatever. So so there was an ask from my manager to build a store procedure that basically would run once a day and delete these unused seats basically if a user hadn't logged in a month or whatever. So I built a store procedure. I tested it in a bunch of different environments with like basically almost exact copies of production data. Got to go ahead from my manager to set it up to run in production. um, and then the I come into work at 8:39 the next day, the first day that it runs, and my manager is sitting at my desk, and he's like, the entire table is empty. And I think at the time, I was young. I probably had like 5 or 6 maybe years of experience, so I didn't really understand like the magnitude of it to him. I was like, oh, okay, well we have backup, so we can just restore a backup from earlier. So we did. We restored a backup, but I can just tell there was like a lot of anxiety. I didn't really know why. Um, Come to find out that like the CEO of the company, I guess for some reason, like it was very very like highly visible to the CEO of this company that this table had to get deleted, and there was like a disruption for like users. Maybe there was a huge event or whatever. I don't remember the exact details. So I get brought into my manager's office, and it's like it's a learning opportunity, right? Like, you know, nothing was really negatively affected. But just so you're aware, like, we just need to be more mindful of these things. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we tested the environments, we did everything that we could do, but sometimes things happen in production and whatever, right? And he kind of agreed. So I went about my day. That was like a Tuesday. And then on a Friday, I get called into his office again, and HR's in there, and they terminated me. They fired me on the spot. And I was sitting there, and I was like, what is the reason we had this conversation, right? A couple days ago, and it was a learning opportunity. Now, like, it's not a learning opportunity. Like, it's barring whatever. And basically, the way my manager worded is that we can't have mistakes like this happen again, and you're a liability for it to happen again. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't. It is what it is. You know, I think the takeaway that I have from it is I went home. We were my wife and I. We were engaged at the time. We were gonna have a wedding in like 5 months. I told my wife, I'm like, I just got fired, and my wife panics because we have a wedding in 5 months, right? And the first thing I started doing is, I go on, at Craigslist. I'm looking for jobs. I'm looking at all the job boards, and I'm literally filling out applications like an hour after getting fired. And the long and short of the story is that I had a job, like I signed a contract for like a contract position, like a week after getting fired. So I think one of the things that and the lesson I want to take from overcoming adversity is that because something bad happens, like you don't know the whole story, and you also don't know all the reasons for that bad thing happening, right? And the only thing that you can really do is you can control 50% of the situation, and that's how you react to it. That's how you respond to it. The other 50% you'll never have any control over. This is kind of a mantra if you've listened to me talk. Like, I very much believe that like we can only really control half of the things in the universe that directly affect us, and that's how we respond to it, how we handle situations. So with that, I think it's really important for us to just take a step back. And if something bad happens, take a breath, acknowledge, hey, what can I do to make my 50% as strong and as valuable and as healthy as possible? Otherwise, you're just going to sit in the 50% that is you have no control over, and you're going to get frustrated and upset. So that's kind of my little lesson for the day. Hopefully, me telling a I deleted production story, which are always, interesting and quote unquote fun to hear. Hopefully, it means something to you. So anyway, hope you like this video. Maybe comment down below like the time you deleted production. I love seeing them because it makes me feel like not everybody in tech is a superhero. Regardless, like and comment on the video and share. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.